gentlemen, back to my favorite farm series, back to the southern farm. It is March and it's time to get ready to start planting some stuff in the ground. On top of that, I think it's time to go ahead and start picking up some more land. So we have $100,000 to use for planting and buying land this year. So we're going to go all out as we can. I'm finally picking up that piece of land right there. I've been wanting to do that for so long. It's not even funny. Purchase soil map. So now we have $78,000 left, and I need only one. I'm gonna plan to buy one more field. Realistically, I want to make sure it's a good size field. And oh, that's a good one right there. That's a good one. That's a nice one. So my issue right now that I'm facing is I don't want to go too far away with it, but I don't want it to be too close. I mean, we can pick up this right here and then turn around and purchase soil data. Just like that right there. So that will leave us with $22,000 to our name. Let's get this tractor on back to the main farm to be able to get started. So there's going to be some things that we do have to rent this year. We're only going to be able to plant one thing this year, and that's peanuts. Peanut harvester is the only type of harvester we have. We have a peanut harvester and a grass farm. So right now we're going to be doing hay and peanuts. That is the way we're going. So I've also decided this right here is going. We're getting rid of the wheat. We don't need it. I don't know why I left it here, but it's not worth it. We're not ever going to harvest it. We don't have the equipment, and it's just better off being fertilizer so that we can keep our peanuts. See, something as simple as that right there actually will make our lives a lot easier. We'll be able to have more ground, and this will be a nice little area for the peanuts to actually be planted. Okay, so we got to go ahead and get all of field 78 cultivated. Actually, we'll set that on right there and let him get to work because it's only tillage. Fire up the 4440. We'll back her on up here. Get this pulled around here. So we actually, I don't think we actually do on this farm. No, we do not have a place. Well, looks like I get to go run over to the house, which across the railroad tracks in the road. I get to go grab my truck and go pick up a pallet of fertilizer and a couple pallets of seed. On the road again. Well, a couple $1,000s later with some seed and some fertilizer, we'll go ahead and get this thrown into the planter. And we'll fill it up with some seed. It probably should take a full set of bags. Actually, it did. And now we'll fill it up with some liquid fert. Set this to peanuts. I actually don't know if the 44 has enough guts to really pull this or not. I don't think it should, but we'll give it a shot and see if she does. If nothing else, we'll just test it out in this little pasture right here and see. There we go. Turn on. Oh, perfect. There we go. Now, one thing I do not like about the peanuts is they use the seed ridiculously fast. It's never this fast in real life, so it's something that I will have to go through and adjust because we do not have enough money to replant this. And I'm actually really surprised the 44 has enough power to really pull it all the way around. So we might go ahead and just start planting our fields with the 44, wait on the big tractor over there to get done and swap them over. Because if I'm not mistaken, that one is probably about 70-ish% done. 30 to 40% done. My bad. And one of my favorite parts about using this planter is we're also putting down the nitrogen that we need and the fertilizer that we need. So we will not need to go back through and attach any more nutrients to these peanuts later on. Now, we will have to do some of our preventative spraying for certain things, like trying to keep black mold out of it. There's certain chemicals that you legally have to spray onto the peanuts, but we cover that during when we spray for weeds. So the rest of the bags of seed in here, we're definitely gonna need a lot more seed. We might go and see the local co-op to see what we can get done about getting a type of truck over here or something like that to load up all the seed. And with this closing pass, that is our first ever field of peanuts fully planted. I do know we need to call the co-op, so I'm gonna call the co-op, see what they can get out here for us as a rental so that we can make sure we have plenty of seed. Well, after $20,000 in seed, another $3,000 in rental costs, and a downgrade, we finally have all that we need. Alrighty, so we got it fully loaded up. Actually, what are we looking at? Oh, probably a little bit longer. So we'll take this on down here. He will give me a call whenever he gets done with that little part of the field, and I'll probably let him take this over for a little bit in planting while I come over here and make sure I clean up the edges, because he's not that good with the tractor, and make sure those edges are cleaned up like they should be. Now, right now, we, of course, have the right-of-way to get through this because we're going to our land. We have an easement through here. I honestly want to come through here with a dozer and kind of knock down some of this grass so that our easement's a little easier to get through. All right, we'll just start hitting this up and down like this right here. It shouldn't take us too long on us to get this done, but it'll be a hot minute. Alrighty, so right now we're just using the old tractor I had to take over for them. They went ahead and took over for me as well. Since we both took over for each other, I'm gonna finish out his little section over here. Then I'm gonna come back through and clean up all these really bad areas that he missed. And just like that, we wrapped up the final field for tillage, get all that nice and pretty. Let's go ahead and fold this up, park her where she needs to go, and get this tractor to the planter where she should have been this whole time. Actually, we probably need to bring the planter on back over here so that we can swap monitors and swap all that fun stuff over. There we go. Lift that up. Run this back over here, fill it up with more seed, swap out the tractor and bring it back over here because we've got a long way to go. Detach that right there. So now let's pull out all the monitors, all the GPS stuff out of here, put it in there and get that hooked up there. Alrighty, everything's hooked up, ready to go. Got everything swapped over, and I know this is overkill compared to the other tractor, but this tractor just is going to be able to help me out a little bit more, keep it more detailed, especially with the monitor set up in here and the John Deere Green Star. All right, put that down. There we go. Set GPS. Now we have started. So let's go ahead and do the only thing that's right. Get this field planted.